everybody. Do you know, I love the fact we're doing a lot more Facebook Lives, and I'm joined by two people I have a lot of admiration for. It's Barbara and Paul. Hello to you both.
Hello, Yanis.
Good afternoon.
You've still got your tan from your travels, Barbara?
I have, yeah.
Where did you go?
Well, we had a rather wonderful holiday. We went to New Mexico, then we went to California, and then we took the family over to Maui, to Hawaii for a week. So, yeah, that was pretty special.
Winning at life. You must be soaking in loads of inspirations for future
sun.
designs. Yeah, soaking sun and inspiration. We like that. Today, busy day.
It is already. Look at the calorie.
I'm off next month. Yeah.
Say it how it is, Barbara.
I think Paul needs a break.
He's going to book you on a trip to Maui.
No, I'm off next month.
Oh, where are you going?
I'm going to Turkey.
Lovely. Well, you do deserve a rest. You've been working very, very hard, especially today. So we've had some great shows.
Clappers.
Now, just to let you know that Barbara will be back at 3. Then
3 o'clock.
Paul's going to be on at 5. You're back
6
at 6
o'clock with the launch of the ODS.
We've got to talk about this. And then 8 o'clock. Okay.
That's just for today.
So I'll be seeing you, I'll be working with you guys a bit later on. So we have got, at 3 o'clock, what we've got coming up?
At 3 o'clock, we've got another wow with the beautiful new dyes.
These are incredible, by the way. I'm just going
They
to
are.
show you. Look.
I think so too. Marie had sent this in. It's gorgeous. Look, isn't
These are
that
cards.
beautiful?
Now,
There you
come
go.
on. What?
Aren't they lovely? Look,
They
so
are
you've got the
stunning.
larger, you got the larger die, the 4x4 aperture, and then you've got this little. When you turn it over, we've got these little quarterets. See the little tiny rinky-dink ones? They come as 4 separate dies, which is pretty clever. Look, see?
All designed to work together.
Yes. So you've got the little quarterets.
Yeah.
And they're the same designs as the large 4x4s, but they just work so beautifully together.
Oh, you have some nice comments, by the way. Helen saying loving the shows. Beverly saying happy birthday. If you do have any questions for Barbara or Paul, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
I'll show you a couple more inspirations, because have a look at this. And this is where the fresh cuts really excel.
How cool
with
is
the
that?
aperture.
That's Maria's work.
Because you know the term a picture says 1,000 words. I mean, it really does. There's so much. I love that scene, just sitting on
Barb's
the bench.
mum and dad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because what
Barbara.
happened was Mel, our
That's
friend Mel,
lovely.
she designed the 3, and then in order to get the quarteret idea going, I needed to draw a 4th one, and so I just extended. Because the thing about these, Yanis, is they tessellate. So in other words, they all join up lovely.
Let me just show. So
actually, there's a piece
the
of
idea
artwork
is
which shows you
to extend the seam.
brilliantly.
Oh,
Check
show
this
it
out,
here,
right? You ready? So they're the little ones. See how they all join up?
Do you mind if I just show
Go
everyone?
on, and then.
So I will open up my reveal. So you can create a bigger scene and then what?
Yeah, look.
Stop
How
it!
gorgeous.
Who
So
did
there-
this?
Dee, of course, Dee Paramore.
Dee, are
so
you
she
kidding
used the
me?
little ones to the front, and then isn't that just absolutely
Now,
beautiful?
If you were to buy a die of that size, you would pay a fortune just for one die.
Crazy.
And look what
And
you're
you
able to
couldn't-
do to
what
mix and
machine
match.
would you? What kind of machine would you be able to
Exactly.
run it?
I want to show you this because think about your patent papers, your stamps, everything just works so beautifully.
Isn't that lovely?
There is a reason why your hour earlier on was extremely busy.
So that's a lovely die, and that's just been cut away. Again, Dee's just cut away some of the elements and added one of our designer papers in the background.
So Barbara will be here at 3 with another opportunity to see these brand new panoramic aperture fresh cut dies, and you're going to love it. Please tune in.
And then at 5 o'clock, Paul's going to be doing more of the fresh cuts, but he's got he's the paper engineer, not me. I keep it simple because I have to.
All right. Well, it's nice because you appeal
It shows
to all
the
levels.
versatility of
Yeah.
how great the dies are. That if
And
you're
you're too
starting
modest,
out,
by the way. You're modest. I like that.
No,
You
it's
show it
pretty
for
simple.
everyone, yeah.
3 o'clock be pretty. If you want to start, 3
good
o'clock's
start.
the starting place.
and that's a great thing where we get so many new viewers now,
Yeah.
and they're thinking, well, what craft can I try now, and so like. So it's a great introduction to die cutting because it's a simple card. Effortlessly, and they're just beautiful designs. They really are.
And you get a fantastic result every time, don't you?
every time.
Word on the street is not only are you going to be enjoying these fantastic dies, but there is free gifts up for grabs as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Top-
birthday treats.
Talk to us about the free gifts.
Well, we've got first of all there are the designer papers, beautiful designer
Love those.
papers from
Yeah.
Dee,
Yeah,
2
yeah.
packs
Yeah.
no less. So they're a really lovely lace design.
Two packs?
Really
Yeah,
nice,
so it's
yeah.
20 sheets.
20 sheets of designer paper.
Yeah.
And then in addition, do you remember a couple of years ago we got the prize for Colouring Book of the Year?
Yeah.
So I decided that that would be a really nice gift as well, the colouring book, which is worth about 12 quid. or so,
£12,
isn't it?
Wait,
Yeah.
you're not giving the papers and the book together?
Yes,
Yeah.
Together?
yes.
It's our birthday.
It's our birthday. So, and the thing about the colouring book is, it's
That's a
lovely
great
because
gift.
it's like a montage of
Yeah.
all the artwork that Mel and I have illustrated, and we've put it all together, mostly Mel.
Yeah.
But it's a really nice colouring book.
That's very generous. I love that. And when Clarity celebrate, they know how to party. If
Yeah.
you've ever been to the Clarity Open Day, remember you
Yeah.
giving out their...
Oh, yeah, there
How
you
often
go.
do you do the open days?
Once a year.
Once a year.
Once
Don't
up
miss
north
that.
as well. In September, we're in
September, end of
Leyburn, aren't we?
September.
End of
Yeah,
September.
Leyburn.
If you are nearby, it is well worth coming down to. Now, we've got lots to celebrate. So we've got a brand new one-day special launching at 6.
6
Yes.
o'clock.
Yeah.
What's going on? What are we
Oh,
talking
wow. I brought in the plates, illustrated by Barbara. Do you remember the floral alphabet?
Yeah, of course I do.
And that
Yeah.
went crazy on launch.
I remember it very well.
I remember because you was panicking. I could hear because I was
19
behind the
minutes we sold out. We
Yeah.
had to fill for 40 minutes.
Do you remember?
I do remember.
So what Barb's done now is she's now illustrated beautiful floral numbers
wow.
together with a happy birthday and ordinals plate as well.
Perfect.
That's
Okay,
it.
So, we can
Yeah.
see it. So you can see that. So this is the one-day special tonight. But look at those. I mean,
Now, I've never seen numbers like these before. There are
these
numbers.
absolutely gorgeous.
They tie in very nicely with the alphabet, really. They've got the same
They
style.
are beautiful.
Thank you.
No, they really are fantastic.
They're ever so nice to use,
Oh,
aren't they?
And it just means it's that extra personalisation then for when you're doing special cards.
And you can...
I'd love to know your
mix and
process.
match
What
them,
inspired you to design these, Barbara?
These,
Yeah, well, the actual designs. What was your inspiration?
a lady
Yeah.
wrote to me, and she's a parcher,
Yeah.
and she said, had I ever thought of doing a floral alphabet?
Okay.
And I thought,
No.
no, I hadn't.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
Brilliant idea. And so-
Genius idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like writing a book, isn't it? An alphabet's quite substantial.
Yeah.
And so I just did two a day.
Yeah.
And it goes quite quickly that way.
Good idea.
And then I sent a set to the lady as a little thank you.
Oh.
And then we went into mass production, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then,
Do
of
you wanna show
course,
some of these?
everybody said, right, well, now we need the letters.
Yeah.
Now we've got the letters, now we need the numbers.
Numbers. Yeah.
So that's how we've come up with the numbers. And they tie in. This is really
have
lovely.
a
Look at that
look.
one.
That's a Tina.
Tina Cox. Look at this.
Oh, no, she, in
Gorgeous.
yesterday, I loved
Oh,
Tina.
she's so
nice.
gorgeous, yeah.
So talented as well.
So you can see here she's combining now. This one, she's got the 7, and she's combined all the different wisteria and all the things from the letters, and then she's taken the
Beautifully
ordinals
detailed.
plate and added that, which is great. There's another 7, completely different. This is Frances Knott, new lady on the block.
What I'm about to show you now, this is the beauty of Groovy, because you
How
can go from
different.
something like this to something totally different.
Yeah, isn't
Wow.
that gorgeous?
I like that.
It's lovely, isn't it?
You can go
and then
sort of
we've got,
trad
there
or
we
you can
go,
go
this is
modern.
gorgeous. Yeah, so I think that's really what Parchment's all about, isn't it?
I think it is nowadays because, I mean, parchment used to be very traditional.
Yeah.
And with the Groovy system, it's opened it up to such a bigger market.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got children of 5 years old using
Yeah,
the
and we've
system.
seen, I know,
Yeah.
and the
Gorgeous.
results are incredible.
Exactly.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, now that's nice.
Yeah.
Look at the white work on there. Ooh. Love it. Oh,
Tina, again.
so we've gone from white work, and this is the beauty of Groovy, because you can
Look at that.
explore all the techniques we love with parchment. So whether it is the cut, the emboss, the white work, lovely.
I love that you know what you're talking about as well, Yanis. I mean
really
that.
do. No,
I mean
I
that
know.
most sincerely.
Well, it's funny
actually.
because I was talking to Nikki. So Nikki's just joined the team.
Yeah.
She's lovely. And she came in exactly what I did when I joined here, held her hands up and said, look, I'm not a crafter, but I am enthusiastic to learn. But she sat down and she was chatting to me and she said, so you've been crafting for years, right? I was like, I hadn't crafted before I joined Hochanda.
Do I look like a crafter, you
But,
say?
oh, exactly. But then now I do craft, and I think all the team do. You get the crafty bug, but being here, I've been at Hochanda for 3 years.
Yeah.
You can't help but get inspired with you, and you do learn, and you do. It's because I've
It's
done so many
marvellous.
shows
For
with
you
you
to
guys.
say, look, the white work
Yeah.
and the colouring and
Yeah.
the perforating is
Well,
like...
we had a lovely show,
Brilliant.
Pergamano show.
We
Paul
did
and
last
I
month, yeah.
really
Marvellous.
enjoyed
It
that.
was
Got to play fly
really
around.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're very
Pico
good.
cutting.
Wow.
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
some great
Did you?
Pico
Oh,
cutting.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
So good. When the penny drops and it
It's that
clicks,
click. And
it's amazing.
What I
isn't it?
do like about Groovy is whether you're just starting out, you can just use the Groovy plate and achieve something that's fantastic. But then you've got that progression. So then you can start exploring your white work, start exploring your cut work in there, your colouring.
Yeah.
There is something for everyone. I've got to ask you, on Sunday, 2 hours with Barbara,
Yes.
we've got a special show. What are we going to be doing on Sunday?
2 to 4.
Yeah.
Oh, new designer papers. So there are
I'll
2
tell you,
new
the birthday
designer
event, you
papers.
guys are hitting it out of the
Yeah,
park.
we've been
There's a little
standing
bit
it
of
up
a-
here. We've been building up for ages. So the designer paper.
They're finally hit. We've been
Sneaky peek.
teasing everyone about your new papers for a long time now. So they're finally now we're going to release the
Now
new
they're
papers.
coming.
If you look,
out.
there's a bit of a sneaky peek what Maria's
Yeah.
used on her card there
These are
with those papers behind.
These are
So
nice.
one of them is called Toscana.
Oh,
So
that's a
think
good
about
name.
Toscana. It's
Yeah.
very olives and
Got a bit of Italian
very
feel.
Italian.
Yeah.
Very olives, maroons, burgundies, warm colours.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Waimea Falls, which is Hawaii.
Yeah.
So it's very oceanic.
Oh.
And I've done something different this
Yeah.
time. The back of the papers is not just manipulated by computer. It's actually another design using the same colourway, so it works really nicely. I like it.
Now, I've got some comments. I just want to thank you so much, everyone who's watching right now. So let's see
Thank
what
you.
people are saying. This is from Beth. Don't usually watch at this time, but thought I'd pop in to see what is happening. Hello from the US. That's Beth. Lovely to see you, Beth.
Hello. What time
Emma's
is it
saying,
there?
I wonder. Yeah, it depends where she is in the US.
Yeah.
Emma's saying a very happy birthday to all at Clarity.
Thank you very much.
Go. Adele's joining us saying, how do we get the free gift? I started my Groovy journey a few months ago. We got a new Groovy.
Excellent.
To get your free gift, make any purchase on the live shows. So it was like our birthday event, but this is a Clarity birthday event, and it has to be a Clarity product.
And also, the papers, they come automatically by virtue of placing an order.
Yeah.
The book, the colouring book, because it's
Yeah.
quite a hefty
Yeah.
treat, just write Clarity 26,
Yeah. As
the code,
Yeah.
and then that automatically does 2 things. 1, you get the book,
Yeah.
and 2, if you're not a Freedom member, are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah. Hochanda gives 1 month's free membership.
I did not know this.
Yeah.
Did you not know?
No, I
Well,
didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Because
should-
I
I
said,
should know
right, I'm
this.
gonna give a.
I really know this. Yeah.
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 All right.
Thank
We
you.
know what
He's
we're
on the
talking
ball. We
about.
know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So you get a whole month's. For those good people who aren't Freedom members yet,
Oh.
then the minute you add Clarity 26, 1, everybody gets the colouring book, and those who aren't members get signed up for a month free of charge.
Well, look, let's just
And
think
it's-
about
And
that.
that's in America as well. If
Yeah.
you're awake.
Beth,
Yeah.
all right, watch the shows. So watch the shows. Use the code Clarity26.
Yeah.
That's worth $19.99 Freedom membership, and then whatever you buy
You've
for
got
that
it
entire
now.
month, you're gonna. I'm on it. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know, he's on it like a car
Whatever
bonnet.
you buy for that entire month, you won't pay any P&P. All I will say, if you do become a Freedom member, do make sure to opt out at the end of the month if you don't want to continue with your Freedom membership. That's important. But do you know what? I think you will. If you're a regular shopper at Hochanda,
Great,
it's worth
especially
it.
if
And,
it,
and
really
also
is.
what Hochanda have done, they've sprinkled Freedom discounts throughout the whole weekend of our shows.
Yeah.
So there's special little extra discounts on some of the products.
Yeah.
You
And
guys are
if you're
good.
into the groovy, then 6 o'clock is the time to tune in.
Oh, there we go.
So
Right, Groovy.
Yeah, let's talk about
Okay,
this.
so do you remember the alphabet? Can I mention
yeah,
this?
yeah.
Right. He's not my manager. Is he? No, all right, to talk about. Do you remember
That's
last
security.
time we had that beautiful original book and all
Yeah.
the design team? They gave
Like
us
the
their
II
fantastic.
books, yeah.
But it was original
Yeah,
artwork.
yeah, no, I remember
and then
that,
so
yeah.
many people said, "Oh, we would love a book of that
Well,
lovely
sure.
A to Z." And so we've made one. There you
Oh,
go.
wow.
So on the 6 o'clock show
Yeah.
this evening,
Yeah.
this is on the show, and you can see this is the exact replica of that beautiful original artwork book with instructions.
Wow.
Do you remember?
I do remember.
Yeah, because that was all we had left to show.
Yeah.
20 minutes in, we just stared at it, didn't we, for quite a while?
And I believe there's Freedom discount on this one as well.
So this is, you're going to get the full recipe on how to make
Yeah.
each of the... Now look, going through, you're going to be making this.
Oh, can I tell you about F?
Oh, yeah, go on.
The fuchsia. This is
Go
funny.
on.
So we were doing a workshop.
You had me worried
And all
there
the
for a second,
ladies, last week
Yeah.
we were doing the retreats, and all the ladies had picked a letter to do when we were having our groovy afternoon. And one of the ladies, I was leaning over her, and I said, "So what letter is it you're doing then?"
Yeah.
Her name was Lynn. She said L. And I said, L?
Yeah.
so I turned her work the other way round, right? And she picked up the F.
Oh.
And I said, all your fuchsias are upside down, love. But it was so
Hanging
funny.
fuchsias.
She'd done the whole F, convinced it was an L, and I thought, well, there's actually there's room for there's potential there. You've got 2 L's in the alphabet if you
I just love to have seen her thought processes there. It's like, this is a beautiful L.
I like this. Yeah.
We got to talk about the preparation for the birthday events, because I would imagine there's a lot of prep got involved for the weekend.
Months.
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 Yeah.
Well, the numbers.
Yeah. We've actually got an image of your craft room we're going to be seeing. Because it's a lot of people.
It's really tidy at the moment.
Oh, we're going to have a look. Can I just warn you guys, the legs are out. Look at that.
It's tidy. He's got room to put his feet up.
Yeah. That is very organised. Paul, you look very rugged there.
Very rugged.
Yeah. White legs.
White legs.
Yeah. You need to get to Turkey quick.
That was really warm the other day, wasn't it?
That's lovely. We get a little snapshot. Because we're celebrating 26th birthday, I think let's go right back to basics, because I've heard your story before, but we might have viewers who haven't. And I was telling Nikki about this, the fact that you hold the accolade of being the first person to have that eureka moment of clear stamps.
That moment of clarity.
That moment of clarity, obviously where the name comes from, clarity.
Yeah,
tell us about that process, because you've changed crafting.
The reason it happened, I didn't come from the stamp world.
Okay.
And what happened was, I was a linguist, and I was living in the States, and the kids were tiny.
Yeah.
And I noticed that, being a linguist, I know that rhythm and rhyme and nursery rhymes, they're very important for language acquisition.
Yeah.
And so I illustrated this this nursery rhyme alphabet. Do you remember the nursery rhyme alphabet?
Yeah.
I've got another alphabet, haven't I? Not floral, the other one. And it went down really well, and the whole idea was, from an educational point of view, we were trying to teach children in the States their nursery rhymes, because they were getting lost in the States. And then I had a rep, because in those days, if you had a product, and we had this rhyme chart, the rep, I was trying to eke out a living, trying to work at home, to be at home with the children, and so this rep was helping me get the product into shops. And he said, right, these alphabet rhyme charts are selling like hotcakes, but you need to think about making the alphabet mobile. He said you can use stencils. No, he said you can use magnets, stickers, or stamps. And I thought, magnets, stickers, or stamps? Stamps sounds a bit more creative than stickers or magnets, in my opinion. And then we went walking through Santa Barbara, because we lived in California. Yeah. We saw the shop called Stampa Barbara. So my brother and I went in with the kids.
Name,
right? Yeah. Well, I thought Barbara. Yeah. So in I went.
It was the universe guiding you in.
Yes, it was. Thank you. And it was all wooden stamps. And I thought, and my immediate thought was, but it would make a lot more sense if you could see through them, because I was thinking about the little kids, and I thought, well, if they had a great big wooden block, one, they wouldn't be able to get their hand round it, and two, you wanted a good sized stamp. So that's how, and that is how Clarity Stamp was born. That's the background as to why I was even in the shop to start with.
To be able to line it up.
Yeah.
But also now we see clear stamps now.
Yeah.
In the industry everywhere.
Well, nobody ever copied a bad idea, though, Yanis.
Exactly, but you were, and how many people in life can say that you had that idea, that original idea? You were the first one to look at a stamp and say, well, look, let's think outside the box. How can we do this a bit differently? And
I remember the first time, it was years before anybody copied me. It was years. And it was years before even people accepted them, because there was, everybody used rubber stamps, vulcanized rubber, brown rubber, grey rubber. And so people just poo-pooed what I was showing them. And I was like, you don't understand. This is brilliant, right? But it's quite hard to, you know, as a mum with two little kids, to get the word out there.
And then all of a sudden, boom. Think about that moment where you went into that shop, Stampa Barbara, and that changed your life. And that's a big statement, but it changed your life. And now look at Clarity now as a company.
Yeah.
I mean, I think also, I mean, sort of with those stamps and the idea behind it, it was all about the education. It wasn't about crafting in general. It wasn't about
card making and art. Right. It wasn't for adults. It was all for the children. And so the line-up was important. And the way we made the handle, you know, that kind of S-shaped handle, it was for children, so they could have big stamps, like large. And that was what we said, big art, little hands. That was the strap line. And they were able to put their little handles inside there. And that was how it started. And it wasn't until I came back to England that we actually figured out that people make cards.
Of course they do.
Seriously,
Because
that's
in
amazing.
America, look, the
It was
majority of the
all
crafting is
scrapbooking.
scrapbooking.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
weren't into cards, see.
Isn't that interesting? All right, now I warned you I was going to be asking the hard-hitting questions this interview. So we want to know, 26 years, celebrating your birthday, what does the future hold for Clarity? What have you got up your sleeves? Because I've seen progression just in 3 years, the evolution.
Listen, I don't
Fresh
know.
cuts. You've got the stamps, the stencils,
We've got
groovy.
Barb's got short sleeves.
Yeah, okay, well, there we go. That's it. The future is wardrobe changes. No.
No, I don't. To be honest, I don't know what I'm doing next week, let alone next year. And I also, I'm a strong believer in it gets put in front of you, and it's like it's this synchronicity. There's this
grows organically,
evolution.
don't force it.
It does,
Yeah.
and because we stay in our lane and we evolve from within. The ideas just come, and sometimes it comes when it's supposed to. Like the dyes, the fresh cut
I like how you
dyes.
say that.
We thought about dyes 4 or 5 years ago,
Yeah.
and then Groovy turned up. Maria presented us with Groovy, and it was like, okay, park that. We need to go in this
The
direction.
award-winning system, can I say, Groovy's won award after award after award. So you've changed stamping, you've changed parchment art.
Yeah.
In that you've brought us the Clarity fresh cut
They're
dyes,
different.
which are incredible.
The aperture dyes.
And it's funny because I know you're about to say, like, with the dyes, you held off doing it until you could do the dyes a Clarity standard, and that's the importance to you.
Yeah, and also it's a funding thing, and you know, from a business point of view, you have to. The moment is right, you know, and when you're investing in that, you can't pile too much on at the same time. It's like, let's get this right, and then there's a gap, and then
That's right.
and then the apertures started, didn't they? That was the exciting
cuts,
thing, because I love paper cuts. I've always loved paper cuts, and then when somebody said to me, it was Rosella. She said, "Well, you don't have to have a cutting edge around the outside," and I was like, really? Well, in that case, what about this idea? And that's how the apertures started. I had no idea, because I don't come from that world. And I think sometimes, not coming from a particular world, it
Puts a different slant on it. Same with
It's
the
true, isn't
Groovy
it?
system. We had no idea about
No.
parchment craft or anything
No,
like that.
we didn't know what we were doing, did we?
And it's sort of like, we didn't, when we was going
Don't
through
ask
your
Tom.
art room the other day, wasn't we, or last year or whenever it was, and we was going through old artwork to try and organise
Yeah.
it. And we looked at this and I went, did you do
we
that?
thought
Oh,
it
I
was
did that.
brilliant
It was
3 years
brilliant at
ago.
the time.
We thought it was absolutely mind-blowing. And now,
You look at it.
you think, well, you wouldn't do that on live
That
telly.
is a natural progression.
Yeah.
And that,
It's
and all
lovely.
crafters, we go through that.
Everybody
What I will
does.
say, your team is great. No, genuinely, you've done. I know that it's a conscious point for Clarity, bringing there's a family atmosphere there, and it's something we talk about at Hochanda too. And I don't want it to overuse this or make it sound cliche, but with Paul, with Maria, with Tina, with Linda, you know, everyone that comes in
and at work,
yeah.
at the base.
Of course, everyone does their bit, but there's a really good vibe, and also that extends to the community, the Groovy worldwide, Clarity worldwide, because
Facebook,
there is
yeah.
a really nice sort of symbiotic relationship between yourselves
And it's
obviously
genuine.
the viewers.
It's genuine.
Yeah.
You can't pretend it.
It's not it's
no,
not forced.
it's there,
Yeah.
you know. And we've been going for 26 years.
26
and
years.
and so our community, our family, it didn't sprout up last week.
Of course not.
This has been growing. I've known a lot of our friends and customers for 26 years.
Well, look
you
at
know.
Caustic
Mike and
art.
Shona.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you used it doing the shows back in the day.
back to back, you know, and so you just you meet people along the way, and there's a chemistry, and you stay friends for life, you know, and that's a good thing. And I also think in our business, what is so exciting, we were talking about it earlier, is that it's in-house. So you have an idea, Yanis, and then you can take that idea, and I can go and see Jim or Lucy, and I'll say, what do you think about this? I've drawn this, and they can convert it into artwork, and then I hand it over to my brother, and he turns it into a groovy plate, or he hand it to Jason, he turns it into a stamp, or give it to Claire, who's Jim's mum, and she turns it into a stencil. And then in the meantime, we give the packaging to the designers, and they design the packaging, and they do the books, and everything gets done in-house. And I don't think there's anything like that in the world, to not outsource it.
Yeah.
We keep it all in, and okay, you could say that that's control, but it might be irrational in a way, because it's probably not the most financially viable. I'm sure there's a cheaper option, but for us,
You maintain quality control.
It's beautiful and it's a boutique, and our intention was never to get bigger, Yanis. It was only ever to get better, and it's so exciting to work with these young people at the office as well, isn't it?
And
what I love is, I mean, I've seen Barbara illustrate, I've watched her draw while we've been working in the studio together, and when I see sort of like the attention to detail that goes in there, and it's beautiful, and then as you say, we give it to Jim or to Lucy
Or Lisa.
And they work their magic on it on the computer to get it ready, and then within an hour, say 2 hours, you can have a groovy plate or a stamp
or a stencil
that you can test there and then, and we can have it for sale.
That's incredible. Seeing that journey. Got some lovely comments. So Josie saying, happy birthday, Clarity. Clarity Craft.
Josie.
Such an inspirational people. Love you all. We've got, who's this? Jackie saying, beautiful cards as usual. Happy birthday. Maria saying hello. Alison saying, happy birthday. Heather in Hudson. Heather Hudson saying, happy birthday from Houston, Texas. She's saying,
Heather.
It's 7:20 a.m. there, so thank you.
Early doors. Howdy.
Heather and everyone, remember, if you use the code, and the code was...
Clarity26.
Make sure you use that. Not only will you get the colouring in book, but you'll get Freedom membership for a month, and that works in the States too, or Europe. Beth,
so good.
Joining us. Who else have we got saying it? Oh, Heather says, a wonderful 26 years. Long may it continue, Barbara.
Wow. Heather in...
Another UK Heather.
This is UK Heather, right. Also Heather in Texas. Where are we going next? You asked us. I forgot to mention a little detail. You know Grace, our daughter, she lives in New York, doesn't she? Well, we've just launched, we're just in the process of launching Clarity in the USA.
Wow.
And so we've got our Clarity Stamp ink, it's called, isn't that cute?
Amazing.
We've got the bank account in place, we've got everything in place, and we're just slowly, because I think this is a big operation, and we're taking our time and we're getting our ducks in a row.
You do it right. You never force anything. It is a natural journey.
But it's just, it's for our American viewers and our American guests that they can actually buy stateside as well now.
That's cool.
You know, so that's a good thing.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
What I will say on a personal note, Barbara, knowing you for 3 years, where I think what makes you special, if I had to sum it up to anyone else, and Paul, but just going back to you, Barbara, is how passionate you are at really helping other people. And you are, because you see somebody and, you bring them into the Clarity brand, and you're always looking at how can I help, what can I do? And I think you're a great believer in lifting people up.
I think it's about empathy. I think the whole craft industry, for mostly women, although there are several men as well, but I think, you know, it has to be kind, you know, and everybody crafts for a reason, and this became very apparent again at the workshops, didn't it? We all craft for a reason, and sometimes it's not always visible, but my empathy that I've developed over the years tells me that if that lady's making a card, it's probably not just because she wants to make a card. There's always a lot more going on, and I think until you embrace that, you know, you're not getting the full picture. And so if somebody wants to do groovy, it's probably because they need to switch off, or they, you know, there's always a good reason why. Of course. Right?
And that's it.
And that's really over 25, 26 years now. That's what I've always tuned into. It's part of my DNA, Yanis. It's just the way it is.
You're a very special person, and you're a great guy, Paul. Can I just say thank you so much? I've really enjoyed getting to sit down and have a chat with you. I'm just going to have one final look at the comments, just see what everyone's saying.
Thank you so much for joining in as well. This is the first time I've ever done one of these Facebook Live things.
Great, isn't it?
How does it work?
Well, we've got all the comments there, and you can share the link on there. So I'll leave that. It's not refreshing, so we'll have a look at the comments afterwards. But thank you so much for watching. So we got special hours coming up. That was a chair, by the way, if you heard funny creaking.
I swapped chairs before he came in. I thought,
this is a very creaky chair. So 3 o'clock, we've got a fantastic hour with yourself, with the apertures.
Yes.
And then 5 o'clock, we're going to be doing a show. Then launch. 6 o'clock, we're going to have an ODS
Groovy
launch.
Numbers. Keep it simple.
Yeah, it is. It's a great lineup. And then at 8 o'clock, I'm going to be with you. And we've got 2 hours special with Barbara on Sunday from 2 to 4.
And then at 6 o'clock in the evening, we're launching the floral alphabet stamps.
Great. Thank you both so much.
Full cycle. Back to stamps.
All right. Thanks for watching,
Bye.
guys.